Hello and welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video, and for this one it is Driller. This was certainly a game that polarised opinion. This came out in 1988, I think, somewhere around then. And okay, basically the idea of it is that this planet that I think you've crash landed on or something, you're having to explore anyway. There is well, the planet is very unstable and is in danger of exploding because of a large gas build-up in each of the various sectors. And you need to drill in the correct locations to basically allow the gas to escape safely, so to relieve the pressure and stop the planet from exploding. To be honest, this is a game that I didn't have it in the day, and it was a game that never interested me, even though it generated a hell of a lot of publicity, and you know, it was getting great reviews here, there and everywhere. And I played it briefly on the Spectrum and wasn't enamoured with it at all. One thing that the Commodore 64 version certainly has in its favour that the Spectrum version didn't have is this soundtrack. I wish I could remember who it was who wrote it. I know Layden would be able to tell me in a heartbeat, but I can't remember who it was who did the music for the game, but the music is superb. I think this is a great one. I may well put the music into the retro computer music channel that I've got up here. But as for the game itself, well, I've got my fag lit, let's go. Now we start in the amethyst section. I know where to go here because the first area you need to get to is very close by to help with relieving the gas pressure in this area. But you have already seen very clearly what it is about this game that I am not keen on. I find it unbearably slow. It's fucking horrible to play. Whoops. 64% is not good enough. Don't want the drill there. Yeah. The X basically marks the spot, and that's where I want to drill. Let's see if I can put it there. Right. Yeah, 30%. It's nowhere near the right area. Okay, so we must be, I thought it was where the cursor was, but it must be where you are. So, right, now D, now that should be pretty good. 97%, I'd say that is pretty good. So that's amethyst sorted out. But yeah, I mean, okay, everyone knows that Commodore 64 isn't very good at doing vector graphics. It doesn't have the processor power or the processor speed. The processor is way too slow. So therefore, who had the fucking brainwave to say, well, I'll tell you what, let's do field vectors? Because it is horrendously slow. It is not a case of frames per second. It is seconds per frame. There are some times when you get, it is literally about 5 seconds before the next frame. As there is less on the screen, things move faster. But when you get a fair bit on screen, like say here, look how fucking slow it is, and it absolutely ruins it. It takes away any kind of atmosphere, and it makes you absolutely dread having to travel a fair distance, which I am having to do. My energy levels are now extremely low. I don't know why. I think it's because of all that fart arsing about I did with putting the drill in the wrong place. So we're trying to move over towards here, and you know, it's barely moving, and this is why I was not interested in the game when it came out, because it was just unbearably slow. Now, you know, I don't mind slow-paced games if they, you know, are enjoyable. There are plenty of games that are, you know, not fast-paced that I like playing. Dungeon Master I did a review of not too long ago, and you know, that's not particularly fast-paced, but it's a great game. This is coma inducing, and you know, it's just too fucking slow. It means that it's just not enjoyable to play. Now that thing that was shooting at me was taking away some of the shield. That's about as fast as the action gets in this game. It's just too much. I just cannot enjoy playing it when it's just crawling along like this. Now, I know the game got rave reviews, pretty much universal, I think. Every magazine that reviewed it said it was fantastic, and I just have no idea why. The speed is just atrocious, and it kills the atmosphere stone dead as far as I'm concerned. And the music's doing a decent job of trying to maintain the atmosphere, but it just cannot make up for this appalling speed. And so it mystifies me as to how the game was as popular as it was, when really, you know, so much of the time it was fucking unplayable. And because you're moving so slowly, a lot of the time I can't even see, you know, where it, you know, what I'm doing in like a certain area. I know somewhere around here, fairly close by, is another X marking a drill site, but you just see how slow it's moving, and you just think, I just can't be asked to wait and sit here doing almost nothing, just waiting for it to go from one area to the next. Now I know I am definitely in a minority when it comes to not liking this game. A lot of people rave about it and think it's fantastic. I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why they rave about it. I don't seem to be able to destroy this thing, so let's just try and get out of the way of it. Oh God, look at how slow it is now you got this thing firing at you. It means you For crying out loud, it's just a joke. I think I can safely say, oh, okay, I got to the wall, so I'm out of range of that thing. But right, well, I can't actually see anything now, so let's do the U-turn so it will save us a bit of time. Yeah, there's the area where that thing that was shooting me is. But now to turn round and to try and get it, and yeah, I've been destroyed. So, what do I think? Well, sound-wise, I mean, there are no sound effects at all. The music's fantastic, but that's, you know, that's, well, yeah. Okay, the music's fantastic. No sound effects at all. Graphically, I mean, okay, the field vectors may look alright, but when they move this horrendously slowly, I just wish they hadn't bothered. Yeah, I wish they'd done what Paul Wokes did with Mercenary instead, and made them wireframe, but done in such a way that, you know, just because they're a wireframe didn't mean that it didn't work. So yeah, that would have been okay, but yeah, this that's filled in vectors on a Commodore 64, and you know, this is a computer with a processor that only ran at I think it was 900, I think somewhere between 960 and 980 Hertz. It's not fast enough, so don't bother, you know, don't waste your time, because otherwise you end up with something as painfully slow as this. And so of course, because of that, gameplay really suffers. The gameplay is just, it's nothing, because you spend all, you know, all of your time just, you know, pushing forward on the joystick and then just sitting there, like, you know, falling asleep, waiting to actually move somewhere. So the gameplay, as far as I'm concerned, is practically non-existent. So, what do I rate it? I rate it very little, actually. I will score it 1, because yeah, it may be, you know, a popular game and a game that many people consider a classic, but I just think it's playable abomination, and it's just stupidly slow, and it's a waste of time. So the only reason it gets any score at all is because the music's great. But that is the only thing that's great about it. In fact, it's the only thing that I don't detest about it. So there you go, that's Driller. A game I was avoiding doing. And now you can see why, or hear why. I am not a fan at all. So 1 out of 10 for that. That brings this video to an end, mercifully. We'll see you at the next one.